3, 2, 1. Your mother.
Okay, too black for y'all to erase. Shoot too straight for y'all to replace. Too abstract for y'all to retrace. You all to be safe, but y'all are deep fake. Too fake for me to waste time. Too two-faced for me to say fine. I'm the one-man army, A-sign, the baseline is we just ain't the same kind.
That's your boy, Black Thought. Yo, what's good,
Yo,
OSNV?
Black Thought stay busy, right? He keeps dropping on new joints.
He has definitely the axe on the grindstone right now.
Word up.
I think
welcome back. Welcome back,
man. Welcome back, my peoples. You know, I just heard that today, so I was like, yeah, it'll be a good song to start to show off with. You know,
I got Black Thought in my top 5. And I know that's an arguable list. Everybody has opinions and everybody's going to argue and fight over who's the top 10, top 20. There's never going to be a perfect list, but I got him in my top 5.
You know what?
MC lyricist, MC/lyricist. Because I factor in lyricists to you know what I mean? Not just a catalog of hits. You could have a catalog of hits like Lil Wayne and not be considered like, even though, you know, Wayne got bars, but I'm saying like the
Wayne
top
got
tier.
bars, bro.
Yeah, like, you know.
He got top tier bars too.
Yeah.
But I will say this, what you're saying is 100% right. So maybe there has to be different kinds of lists, you know, like I know, shout out to hip hop. I know we just recently made 50 years, right? And they had a list.
50 years.
But
it's crazy.
There's like, it's a good point you bring up. And it's actually shout out to Iron Many. You know, I follow him. He's part of he's in the peeps, but he had recently said something about this because, you know, there's been a lot of like scrutiny talking about Eminem and if he wasn't white, would he still be revered as someone like so ill? And what he said, that made a lot of sense. And I'm going to tie it back to what you said, that there's different categories, right? The catalogs, all of those things make it subjective, right? It is, because if you love them for X, Y, Z reasons, and I love this person's album for X, Y reason, those are subjective. There's all different kind of POVs. So in order to really, really gauge who is top MCs, you would need something that is not a subjective, that it's more tangible. And what is that other than like rhyme skill, your skill set, right? Whose skill set, who can display some of the craziest wordplay flows? Eminem, right? Like,
yeah, you sent me, is that a new joint? Eminem?
I don't even know, but I recently heard that. I heard that, I was like, yo, he fucking went off. But so can Black Thought. Black Thought goes off, right? Yeah. So now Black Thought, who may not have that catalog as Jay-Z and as Nas and everyone else, but he's fucking one of the illest, right? So there would have to be different lists, man. And if we're really gonna aim at something not being subjective, and not gonna base it off of sales and catalogs, and we're just going straight off the skill set.
Yeah, the skill set. So what's your breakdown of what makes a dope MC? Like the flow, the cadence, the delivery, the voice a little bit, the metaphors, the wordplay, you know, the way they intertwine with words, all that shit factors in, you know.
100%. You just
said
it,
a lot of rappers nowadays don't believe in none of that shit.
They don't.
They're talking nonsense.
Listen, and look, man, I don't want to be them OG heads right now.
I mean, we are though, but we could talk that shit.
We're not shitting on anyone.
We're from the golden era.
We can, right? But like, I'm gonna give you an example. Recently, you know, Wifey keeps me in tune. Always a post check on Spanish hip hop, right? Or whether it's trap or whether it's like reggaeton or in-depth stuff or like rock stuff, right? Always Bombay Stereo, shout out to them, like stuff like that, or Bad Bunny, right? Or Karol G, or excuse me, or whatever other Colombian.
There's a lot of talented.
She knows all the new Colombian.
There's a lot of talented Latino artists.
But there's this dude called Fade, right? He's not new, but I feel like he has a lot more songs. He's buzzing right now. So she played him and just a few songs. And again, the music lyric wise, I'm always checking for lyrics, wordplay, how witty they are, sounded dope. But we turned everything up and we noticed how every song we played had auto-tune. So it's really like we're at that age where I think people go into the studio knowing that their voice can be altered already. So they may not be shooting to sound the best authentically because they know that they're gonna have some support. And nowadays, because look, even me, like I'm recording my stuff, and let's say I throw 1 or 2 bars, may not hit the pocket like the way Luminary grabs it, pulls it back just a second. Now the shit is flawless. You know what I mean? So,
right.
and so and that's me not even really taking advantage of the tools that you have, because I want to sound as authentic as possible. But you know, is that even worthy nowadays? Like, you know,
the way I see it, I'm sorry, the way I see it is, so you're an artist that stays in the studio. You have plenty of lyrical content, and so I think there's a pro and a con to that. Okay, and so here's what I mean by that. When you have bars ready to go, you're in the session. You're writing stuff on the spot, right? And I'm not saying this to that this applies to you, but I'm saying to people that are to artists that are in the so. You know, you don't have time to really practice it over and over and over to develop the full delivery of how you want each syllable to hit, or you know. So when you're writing on the spot, you tend to read off your phone or a piece of paper, and that might throw off the full impact or the full capacity of what you're trying to avert that verse to be, as far as delivery wise. You feel me? Because you're writing on the spot a lot of times.
It depends on what the song is, right? So if it's one of those, so I always say for myself more so, and I guess from things I hear, but if I hear if I hear a verse and it's super flowy, almost 9 times out of 10, the content isn't going to be super deep. So I feel sometimes you have to compromise a little bit of what you're saying, depth-wise and wordplay-wise, to fit a flow. If not, then you're going to compromise a little bit of the flow to put in a message more so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll give an example like ARK'S one, right? He doesn't have those choppies. And when I'm sure he has songs with that. And I think I've heard, I could, but when he does those choppy flows, they aren't as in depth and as deep as the slower flows where he can say more. You know what I mean? Because if you're going pop, pop, and stop, stop, and going hot, and hit, and pop, like you can't really go into depth, and you're not breaking words. You're not saying multi-syllabic words in those super flows. Shit. You're just trying to hit those little pockets.
Syllabic.
But we've been hearing, and again, I don't think anything's wrong with auto-tune. I love, more pop shit. Wherever I could fit it in for myself, I do.
Do you think? Let me ask you a question. Do you think auto-tune, because auto-tune, you could say, was played out 10 years ago, right? So you think it's been reinvented as a tool to be used again, or you think it never faded away? Because auto-tune's been around for a hot minute. We're talking more than 10 years.
It's the norm now. So before, where it was very subtle and you won't hear it as much, now it's more pronounced. And now you hear it like up front. Like I'm telling you, we were blasting songs, and I'm not going to say anybody we were listening to in particular, but every song we heard back to back, there was a bunch of auto-tune on it. And it was like apparent, like you could hear it now. So it's like
regular now.
It's a standard now. It's normal.
Do you think that's cool though?
You're rapping.
What do you think about that? Do you think
I don't think it's always needed.
Right.
I think,
it's being overused.
Yeah, like you have Kanye. Kanye uses it, but I think he uses it like really well.
Watch how you talk about him.
Right? But then you have somebody like Little Baby, who's nice. He's nice as fuck, right? But he puts it on every verse. You hear it.
Yeah, I can't listen to that.
And I'm like, damn, bro, I don't think you needed it for that verse, bro, because it sounded dope anyway. So I think that if it doesn't need it, you shouldn't put it. But because it's probably like a standard now, it's a stamp. If you don't have it, you may sound a little dated or whatnot, But then again, if you do have it, 10 years from now, that's gonna sound dated as well.
Some people don't mind sounding dated. They want to keep that gritty hip hop sound.
Right. Yo, you got these fucking teens. You got teenagers running around right now, sounding like 90s rappers.
Oh, Coast Contra. Isn't that their name? Coast Contra? They sound like old school rappers. They're young dudes. You know what I'm talking about, right? They got a few ill freestyles. And I think they just put an album out. You know who I'm talking about.
Who's that? Who's that? Hold on 1 second, all right? Hold on. I'm sorry.
Pause. Let's hit pause on the controller.
My bad. So were you saying Contra what?
They're called Coast Contra. It's this group of like these young freaking. There's like 4 or 5 of them, but they're nasty. But they got the way they spit bars is like old school style. You know what I'm saying? I know you've heard of them. You've heard of them. I don't think you could pimp. I don't think you're pimping.
Yeah, I suck with the names and all that. Like
the name, yeah.
I'm sure you're saying I heard them yet, but you got a lot of even like right now. Who was I listening to recently? I was listening to J. Cole, right? J. Cole still sounds
He's
like
nasty.
Our era, nasty as F. Yeah. Who else? Even like, you know what? You still have.
I flow short, I'm the blueprint. The twins is a pair, but I'm a 2 for 1. This the moon and the sun. Frank Castle and Big Pun.
That's Coast Contra. You never heard this joint? Listen to this joint. Hold up. You heard this shit.
They sound like
leaders of the new school.
Yo, I was just gonna say that.
Son, this shit's been out for like a hot minute, for like a year. Woo!
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
I'm surprised you haven't heard these guys.
I probably have, but
you're more in tune with all the new music. You know me, I'm like in my bubble. I'm like in my Nas, WUTANG, fucking Biggie.
I'm in a similar bubble too, but as of lately, you know, I do listen to a few more like melodic artists too. You know, people kind of sing too. Yeah, what was I listening to? I guess we could talk about music too. What's his name? Macklemore. He just dropped the album right now, which is kind of
Macklemore's nice too. He's nice too.
Yeah, I've always appreciated his music.
I got to jump on Spotify when you tell me somebody dropped a new. Yeah. How do you keep track of that? Do you get alerts?
Title.
Oh, sorry, I don't have that.
Every Tuesday and Friday they have new releases.
How you spell Macklemore?
Macklemore.
Oh, I see. I got it.
MACKLEMORE.
Don't talk to me like that.
Yeah, so like him or Dave Sebastian is another artist. He's like real melodic kind of singing. He's newish as well. Who else drops something?
Ark.
That is coming, my friend. Yo, you know, I know we've always been saying this, and I don't want to let the bag out too early, but it's very, very close. I can't wait. Very soon. My boy Theme is I brought him out of the dungeons of rap with Fake Brothers Don't Make It Back. You know what I'm saying? Man. I pulled him out. He came in. I got a verse from Theme.
Back from high. I told ARK'S was like, yo, I'm finishing up the album soon. I was like, man, I got to get at least on one of them.
So
at least on one of them.
Actually, I
got one in the chamber. I got one in the chamber.
You and I just recorded something with Dax too. We did something for his project. I sent that to you, and then we did something. I like that joint. Project.
That could be like a crew joint, right? Like a crew.
That's exactly what would. So now that like I'm finished with what I was working on for me, now I could focus on these other projects, and they're coming fast. Like shout out to Eaz. He's going to be a guest next episode. He's going to come on and talk to us about his.
We got to get album. Prince on too.
Yeah, Prince. He's for a minute too. We got something cooking, bro. It's like a resurgence that just came, bro, and it's like this is energy. So I'm just gonna go with it. Who else just dropped something too that was that's dope? Shout out to Doza, he just dropped something as well. All things considered, that's
Those are always
project.
Dropping them hard joints.
Always, and we got
bangers.
something. We got studio on
Street
the 26 too right now, so we're gonna definitely have some stuff. Shout out to Narcotex. So
AB too. Shout out to AB too.
We're gonna have him on here as well.
He stays dropping new shit.
Yeah, him and Jit just dropped something.
Crazy.
So right now is a good time, man. You just dropped something, so I know that that's gonna definitely, we're gonna follow that up with something else. And then next thing, I'm telling you,
son is putting a gun to my head.
Yo, once you do one song, and then you do another, and then you just don't get attached to. I used to get attached to projects too much. And I'll revisit the same song, and then redo.
We'll revisit the Old School New Vibes collabo soundtrack.
Bro, but now it's like, bro, just ship them out. Boom, it's done. And the ones that wow, those are special. Let me put a little bit more attention on this. I'll go back and I'll sprinkle a little bit extra seasoning on those. But
like adobo and shit.
Yeah, right now, again, we're just moving right now. A lot of great things coming, man. Quick in your window, what you got, that little T right there, you know what I'm saying? Ooh. And that T's, it's coming, man. It's coming.
I got the tees, hoodies. I got a bunch of shit coming.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that what we say comes to pass. That's very important. Keeping your word and making sure that you complete your goals, not for anybody else, but for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you can't lie to yourself, and only you can really, really, really truly make yourself feel content. And when you're working on yourself and just something passionate, it gives you a sense of purpose. Bro, I've been breaking like these last 4 months, like nonstop, bro. I've never worked, even when we were on tour and all I did was music. I didn't write as much as I'm writing right now. And this is me balancing like music, work, life.
You're like on a wavelength. You're writing that wavelength.
And it's like, I'll go to sleep at like, I'm maybe 3 or 4 hours, but I fucking wrote some amazing shit and I wake up energized just because I'm so hyped for what I did, So
that's how I felt when I finished this verse.
Yo, didn't you feel like, son? So this is to tell you how powerful the mind is, right? That you can go on X amount of sleep, but if you have a sense of purpose or passion, that is going to make you overlook every other thing that you can easily complain about. Because it just allows you to focus on the half full cup instead of the half empty. And the key thing is, one, not basing all your happiness on when those moments come, because motivation is every now and then. Motivation is really convenient. It's only there when it's convenient sometimes. So sometimes we got to supersede that with discipline and commitment and devotion, and those don't always feel the best. Devotion, commitment, discipline, regiment.
You still got to sneak some hours of sleep in there too.
When you compare that to motivation, of course you can't not. But when you think about, I'll give you an example: the armed forces, right? We both know people in the army and the services, bro. When they said these are the people who defending the nation, they're sleeping 2 to 3 hours every day, bro. Right? So this is. And the thing is
that's got to fuck your head up eventually, though.
Yeah, you're kind of like in war machine mode, right?
Yeah.
But there's more. I mean, it just as necessary as rest are your nutrients, making sure.
Bro, that's how I felt when the baby was when the baby was just born for the first couple months. That's how I felt. No sleep, sleep, bro. That shit catches up to you, man.
It does. So you definitely look, even in the scriptures, what God worked 6 days and then rested on the seventh. You know what I mean? So rest is very important. And that's even the fundamentals of yoga, right? Yoga is contraction, relaxation, contraction, relaxation. So it's work followed by rest. Work when you can. And if you can, then you must. But if you must rest, then you rest, So that's how you grow. You don't grow in the gym. You're in the gym you're pounding it out, you're cutting up everything, right?
Pause.
But
You're in
then
the
when you
gym
get
getting
home
pounded
and
out.
you're eating, as long as you're the one that's doing the pounding. Pause all around on that one, bro.
Mega pause.
I don't even want to get canceled.
I fucked you up there. I threw you off.
You did a Russel Brand on me right now, bro.
Oh, like, hell yeah. Russell Brand stays antagonizing the mainstream media. I love it. I love it.
I didn't see the whole episode, but I know all the highlights.
Yeah, man. He got sound bites for days out of that last Rogan episode. That's definitely a must see, man. Definitely.
I think what
is exhibited on MSN. It's disingenuous to claim that the biases that are exhibited on Fox News are any different from the biases exhibited on MSNBC. It's difficult to suggest that these corporations operate as anything other than mouthpieces for their affiliate owners.
So what he was pretty much saying, right, is that he was talking about
the mainstream news is full of shit. That's what he's saying.
In a nutshell.
Pretty much.
Because
they're all owned. They gotta play by the rules to their corporate owners.
Yeah. And so they'll just point fingers on somebody else.
And
they're all doing the same shit.
love how the mainstream narrative for just a lot of shit from COVID, that whole shit that happened in January 6th, is all falling apart, bro. You know,
everything.
It's all falling apart. Like they're clinching for dear life for their remaining viewers, whatever demographic is left of people still watching and believing all the bullshit they spew. And I love seeing it fall apart, bro. It's beautiful.
It is because, okay, I love that it's falling apart because then something new is gonna come of it. Mm-hmm. But I don't love it for the fact to say, oh, I told you so, right? Because, you know, it's so easy to say, oh, I told you guys so, but it's so easy for that to get flipped, man. And karma will do that to you. That instant karma, how many times haven't we seen it? Yeah, I just seen something right now online.
Yeah, I'm a victim. Rage. I'm a victim of it. Yeah, instant karma.
Instant karma.
It's real.
So
it's real.
I'm happy things are falling apart because now the veil is being unveiled.
Right, it's being lifted.
I love that. And I love that honesty and truth can come from it.
Yeah.
Can hurt be in the process? Maybe. But let's not look at it as hurt. Let's just look at it as a little challenge that is going to help us become better. You know what I mean? That's how I always try to really put it in those terms that if we're walking through here and it's going to be a little challenging, but I know that it's going to ultimately make us better people, you know? And I think right now that's where we're at. Russel Brand, he went off on that. He also went off on Joe Rogan, but he's always going off on Joe Rogan. I love when he's up on that. They both go in.
Yeah, hell yeah. And the cool thing about that is, you know, Rogan has a platform. He doesn't have to. I mean, he's on Spotify, and some of the shit, you know, he caught a lot of shit during the, you know, when the COVID propaganda was at its peak. You know, he had to. But aside from that, like he doesn't. If Spotify decides to, you know, which they're not, but what I'm saying is he doesn't have to rely on that. He's good. You know what I'm saying? He's good. He doesn't have to worry about getting fired from a job. You feel me?
Yeah.
He owns his own shit. So that's what you need. You need more people like that have more control of their content and not worry about being censored.
But I think there's something that Spotify, although we look at Joe Rogan like he's quote unquote free, he really isn't either. He still has to compromise.
Yeah. He had to go back and, you know, he checks himself on a lot of shit too.
Yeah, he even had to remove that. He has a few of his episodes that he had to remove, edit. He has to put like a disclosure in the beginning of certain things, right? Because he's playing the game. And I think whenever you're going to play the game, it's going to happen. Because if not, you're going to end up being like what happened to Ye and what happened to Alex Jones, right?
It would have been worse if he was still on YouTube, though, because YouTube stays censoring shit, you know?
Now, I'm telling you, our podcast, I can't, when I'm on the work computer, I can't access it. It's crazy.
That might be something different though, because we're not really hitting the algorithm like that.
I don't know, son. The Illuminati, they see the potential, you know.
But but we don't even get deep into the rabbit hole like that.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, my G.
Bro, if we did, forget it. We'll do one episode, go deep, called Deep Into the Rabbit Hole. Pause.
I'll bring out my picture of the flat Earth.
That's it. It's a wrap. Ark with his fucking flat Earth posts. You know me is gonna get on you for that shit. So yeah, let's just switch it up real quick. Did you see the last WUTANG episode on Hulu, the criminology joint? What'd you think of it?
Get into this, man. Okay. I know where they're going or what their aim is, right? They want some artistic.
Shout out to the purple tape.
Yeah, they want to tantalize it. They want to you know, make it different. I get it. Very artsy, right? Because you know, RZA, he's an artsy kind of person, man, believe it or not. And so I love how they're trying to pay tributes to it and get a little different with it. Do they go a little cheesy sometimes? Sometimes it's a little cheesy, but I know that they know it's cheesy. It's not like they put that out there and they don't think it's a little corny or a little cheesy in certain parts, right? I think that's part of that look for it, right? Especially with that the episode with Old Dirty.
Old Dirty,
They went off.
I wasn't feeling it like that. It kind of took me away a little bit because I mean it's based off of more or less loosely based on the real life shit that they went through. And I get the artistic angle. And there was some stuff in the last season that they did was very creative. But
with the producing, right? When I remember.
Yeah, when they did on the chessboard and all that shit. Yeah. I thought that was dope.
Yo, shout out to Massacre. I love you, but I did beat you on the squares whenever, you know what I'm saying, you want to smoke, we could go back at it. Yeah, we were at PF Cutting. Shout out to PF Cutting.
Calling them out on the chess battlefield. Yeah,
and we were there, and the gods, you know, we got into it. It was an amazing game. We played 2 games. Won the first one. The second one got cut short. He had to break out. But strong player, lovely bro. It's crazy. You see the name Master Killer. He's such a humble, intelligent person, you know?
We have an APB on an MC. Killer looks like the work of a master.
And it showed me insights on even him. I didn't know. Did you see the last episode? Not the one right now, Criminology, the one prior to that, where it kind of showed a little bit more about Master Killer. Even You God.
We were gonna talk about it and we didn't. Then the last episode, we didn't go into how it ended with You God and everything. So let's start from there.
Right? Those I don't want to say they're the side B, but they were the ones that really didn't see the limelight, like you know, Method Man. Not that they're not as talented; they're fucking super dope. You know,
but Meth style stood out the most.
You know, You God. I still remember Winter Wars. You God went so stupid.
Even Capadonna was body
all of them. Just for whatever reason, maybe it was their work ethic that they didn't really dive into their craft like that. And I see that, right? It's so crazy because I see that with myself, and I don't want to bring it back to myself, to my WUTANG, but when I see like in me creating, when I really stamped in my head, if I don't do it, it won't get done, and not leaving it on somebody else. When I was in a group, it's easy to do stuff like that, like, oh, it'll get done eventually, right? But when you're like, no, I'm, taking ownership of this, and I'm going to make sure I see it to this completion, it's totally different. So I think with them, there's a group, and RZA did a lot of everything from what it looks like, and he was very bossy, very picky. So it may have even developed some bad habits amongst themselves, right?
Yeah.
Bro, everyone's still going through PTSD of their fucking younger years, so I'm sure that they had their own going through all of that. All right, so figuring things out, because that episode, his son got shot, bro. So it's crazy.
So in real life, I thought it was RZA's little brother that got shot, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Didn't he have remember in the first season he had a little brother?
Yes.
And then he talks about, and after the laughter, there'll be tears. He's talking about his little brother that got robbed coming from the store or something. Remember?
So what
I
I'm
don't
thinking,
remember some you God having a story like that. Like his son got shot.
so it was crazy when we saw that wifey was like, yo, this is crazy. So she actually looked it up and it was you God's son.
Okay.
Maybe for the rate for the album, they kind of changed it so it won't be too true. You know what I mean?
Or maybe that also happened to Riz's brother.
Maybe as well. Maybe.
Yeah.
But that was crazy, man. So I know
So
they
he
were dealing with a
leaves.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So he leaves. He steals Ghostface's gun. He stole his gun. So
And,
now what's gonna happen?
but in the next episode, as you saw, he did mention it. He's like, yo, I opted out. I was there. I could have blasted him, but I didn't. Remember, he was telling Power that. So when they were in the Woo store, in the Woolwear store,
okay.
and he went up to him and he was like, peace, God. He's like, yo, he said, yo, how you doing? I just sum up like, yo, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yo, I got there, man, and I didn't do it, you know? And he was talking about how he's going to put more effort into the music and everything.
I missed that part. Was that in this criminology episode?
Yeah.
At the end?
Yeah, towards that. No, not in this one. This was the one prior to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm bugging. Isn't the
no,
one prior
actually, yeah, no, this is it was this one. Because this criminology one, it kind of phased into it afterwards.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I got it check.
Yeah, it's remember when they went into the Woolworth when they opened up the Woolworth.
I missed that because I'm like it's back and forth. Like you don't know if you're still in that movie that they did or
I know.
So they based it off
it too.
They all had the Wu Gambino names.
But wasn't it crazy how they had pieces of every move? Did you see Nas? Like
Esco,
right?
They called him Esco. They went to see Frank White. I was like, oh, they're gonna throw Biggie in this shit.
Was crazy,
so peep it though, because I was listening to for what album was that on? I think it was on the Only Built for Cuban Links.
Yeah,
where Ghostface is talking shit. Yeah, he's like, yo, they bit off a Nas cover. Look,
David right been out of Nas shit.
Yeah. So he's talking about Biggie. So they always had a little bit of friction, I guess, with him, right?
Yeah, because it competition. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They were both kind of like hot at the time or whatever. And
I'm sure if Biggie wouldn't have got killed, they would have ended up working together.
Yeah,
eventually.
I'm pretty sure that would have happened because Puff worked with Method. Meth was signed to Def Jam. You know what I mean?
He did that remix, yeah. But so what I didn't like about the episode is they could have done it. I get it that they're in a movie and it's like they are trying to tell a story of like, criminal life or whatever. But the way the execution just, it missed me a little bit. Like just the stuff that Ray was like he didn't know that that Greco cop was behind it. He's like, yo, he was behind this shit the whole time. Like, really, bro? You didn't put that two and two together?
Well, you know sometimes, bro.
And then the cop was like, he was like a parody. Like if you see a comedy sketch, that he was acting like that, right? Like the fucking Greco cop. And then the way they took him out, like
it was very Dick Tracy-ish, right? You ever saw Dick Tracy? Remember Dick? So like it was like loosely ran. It wasn't like really.
Yeah.
But I think the point of it was to tell a story because it wasn't everything that they were talking about was more so hip hop. And the drug that they were talking about was their music.
The purple tape.
Yeah, which was purple tape. Yeah, but they were ultimately talking about music, right?
I get all that.
And I love how when he was in the they were on the boat. Yeah. And you remember when they had that background music? He was talking, they were like just talking about life. You know, sometimes you're not just remember they had that's part of the skit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, there gotta be more. It was so dope how that probably really happened.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? You're in the hood, X amount of years, you're starting to taste stardom, you're on a fucking yacht, you're recording your album, you feeling like you're the shit.
Top of the world.
Sauce cooking, you there chilling, you
got a mansion.
You're feeling nice, you got some nice herbals in you, like all of that. they're capturing that moment, and I think it's dope that they're telling that story. Again, it's a little cheesy parts of it, but I could see where they're going with the vision of it, or where they attempted to do.
Now I just hope they bring it back to the real
but
world.
It's so dope how they reference little pieces of the making of the album, right?
Yeah.
Like how did you see when Ray was like, you know what, man? Yo, you just gonna be on this shit the whole album, son. It's just what we're just mixing so right now. Yo, you're gonna be on the whole album, son. Like, boom, that's it. Dude, he was on the whole album. Now shit like, come on, when they first did it, we were like, man, that shit ain't Raekwon's whole album. Ghost is on every other. How many, we spoke about stuff like that too back then.
And Ray wasn't on a lot of his albums too.
Oh shit.
A lot of his songs on his album too, on the what is it, Iron Man?
Yeah. So and they're always back to back, man. They're like they're like Jada and Styles and shit.
Yeah.
That'll be a dope collab track.
Well, they've collabed on a lot of stuff. Ghost and the D Block.
Oh yeah. The Wu Block.
Yeah, that's right. They collabed on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, yes indeed, my friend.
That New York hip hop shit.
Oh man, so I'm hype about that. I know it's coming to an end soon, and I think that's probably gonna be the last one. But they need to dive into Jizz's album, bro. Because didn't you love how I love how Jizza was working on his album, right? You saw it, and then Old Dirty tapped in, and he let him hear that Label song. And he was like, yo, son, I need a hook, son. Nah, man, you don't need a hook. Nah, son, it needs something like when the MCs came.
It wasn't Labels. It was the other one.
When MCs came.
Yeah.
For some sure.
Yeah.
Yo, so shit like that, man. It's dope to see those the insight and see.
I just wish they would have played Brooklyn Zoo, because that was one of ODB's bangers.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see, because it's the last season, so we'll see how they wrap it up, put a bow on it. But you have to check out the documentary, because with the real life dudes, and you get a real feeling of like, that camaraderie with them, how they were able, because they went through a lot of shit and they probably split up or whatever, but they always came back.
I love how they always came back. You saw how he had that conversation with Master. He didn't. Was Master Killer in the group or not? Like things like that, bro. We weren't privy to none of that stuff, so it was good to see. And it was no real hate. It was just like, yo, we gotta get shit known. Like, I need to know. This is coming into money, and it was just really good to see that, man. And it's good to, especially Wu-Tang, bro. We love Wu-Tang, and it's kind of making their legacy be reborn right now, because I'm sure their sales are going up right now. I'm sure all those old songs, and look, I love Davies. He sounds dope. But none of the songs that I've heard him do over sound as good as Meth's.
Method Man. Any of them, when they redo the songs, and
it's dope. It's good to hear, but they don't got that.
The actors try to emulate the actors try to emulate the rappers, but it's not the same.
Who else? Speaking of Wu-Tang, back in the days, also shout out to De La Soul. Rest in peace, Dave.
Rest in peace,
brother Trugoy. I was just telling you earlier, we actually have a song in the works with Pasta News, which is amazing. I can't wait to have put that out there. But it was very tragic that.
What are y'all trying to release that?
That's gonna be on the project with me is, but speaking of release, what was tragic is that, aside from him, of course, passing, that being tragic, but right before his music got, their music got re-released, because they had that whole legal issue with Tommy Boy, and there were a lot of the moguls in hip hop, Jay-Z, a lot of people who helped them get off and fight that, that lawsuit. So they finally got their masters, I believe, and they just re-released like a lot of the albums that they weren't available. It's funny, when I had heard that De La Soul's music isn't available, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I went on, y'all couldn't find it. So, and that's why we notice a lot of the throwback music, and you don't really hear a lot of De La because it wasn't streamable. Only newer projects where they were able to get, a better cut on their publishing, but it's good to hear, you know. So songs like, you know, I got to put this on because this is actually like, it's one of my favorites. You know, me and Iz, being brothers, of course, but we grew up on just the native tongues. You know, we love De La, man. Especially this one.
That's a magic number.
It's going in and out.
Somewhere in this hip hop soul community was 3 makes the beat, and that's a magic number. What does it all mean? Difficult preaching is popular.
Remember that? That's one of my favorites, huh? The magic number. 3.
Shout out to De La Soul. Hip hop icons.
Yo, that, man, is so funny how De La Soul, right? And they were all part of the native tongues. Man, who can you compare nowadays that had like that kind of family like that, right? Because who was in the native tongues? You had the Jungle Brothers, you had Tribe Called Quest, you had De La Soul, you had Queen Latifah, you had Moni Love, you had the Jungle Brothers.
I think you said Jungle Brothers.
I said the Jungle. Okay, there were a few.
Girl,
other
I
people.
house you. You are my
Don't you know? That's where hip hop is at right now. It's so crazy how it goes back around. That kind of housey.
So out of all of those, I was vibing with Tribe the most.
Tribe, I love Tribe.
All of those.
Yeah, but it's good to see, you know, their music is out again. What else? Who else got some new music?
It's timeless, bro. Hip hop is timeless. That's the beauty of it. And that's why, like, you know, not to sound like a super old head, but when I hear a lot of this new drill shit out, it's just like, miss me with that shit.
But at the same time, we can't. All right, so I have to always remind myself that I can't be like what, quote unquote, our parents were. Like, oh, what are you listening to? Oh my God, it's disgusting.
I know. I agree with you. I agree.
For how crazy as it sounds to me, and how amazing my era, or what I consider to be amazing, is to me, that's exactly how our parents feel about their music and us.
I know.
So I gotta understand, like, so now I do my due diligence on finding something that I like and I appreciate about the newer music, whether it's like, remember what I was saying before, you got flow. I think this newer generation compromise more context for flow. So it's not that they're not saying it's deep stuff, but they're just saying it's simpler, right? They're saying deeper things, a lot more simple, easy to digest, and it's more about a feeling. So where you and I could be rapping about something, or, you know, the format, explore rap, all that, now to the doormat, right? They're talking about like, got $1 in my pocket, blunt in my hand, got a drink in my pocket, and they're talking about more about in the moment stuff that they're feeling, getting in the car, going over.
That's fine. I just the sound itself,
vibe, right?
Yeah,
not because we did that back then too, but it wasn't as profound as it is now. And now a lot of the momentary stuff they told me, come on, it's easy, I'm gonna bang your chick, or it's just a lot of sexual contact, or a lot of shooting,
and we had that back in the days too, but we also had a balance.
We did, you know. We went crazy to fucking shootouts, you know, to Mobb Deep songs, bro. Like, come on, you know, like, Onyx, put your guns in the air.
I just feel like that era, you know, I don't mean to sound like an elitist, but coming up in that era was a blessing. You can't, like, there's no way to ever reimagine that or had to copy that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. But that golden era of, like, you know, mid to late 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you know, even a little after that, that's it, bro. Like,
I know that, you know, that's a different kind of era.
There's nothing that will ever be like that, ever. You know? No,
but nothing will ever be like how it is now either. Because there's people out there, man, that's really, really tapped in. There are old souls out there. Excuse me, it's like that. I work with some, you know, shout out to Zoe. She's a young cat and she's a beast. Shout out to my cousin Les, he's a beast. Yo, real talk, my son, Logan.
But check it. What do they all have in common? They all have influence of our era.
Yeah.
Because of us.
Yeah. So our era, the proper way for us to pass the torch is to pass the torch, not just like fucking extinguish the torch and act, you know, don't want to pass it off. Yeah. So what you have to do is find, for your own personal sake, is find hip hop of today that you like.
I mean, listen, I could vibe out to a lot of
Is there
artists.
Anyone that you'll be like, yo, I'm gonna buy some concert tickets to?
No.
See,
if I go to a concert, you
gotta find an artist that
listen,
you feel
all right. Put it like this. I'm not trying to say like I listen to other music. I listen to rock. I listen to freaking. We got a playlist. My son loves oldies. Like he starts going crazy. Like he's got an old soul. Like he likes listening to a lot of old 80s stuff.
It's in his DNA,
it's
bro.
in his DNA. So what I'm saying is, you know, I just lost my train of thought.
You're talking about your son?
I just lost my train of thought. All the old school music, but I forgot where the fuck I was going with this shit, bro.
All right, so look at Xavier. He loved Michael Jackson, bro. I love Michael Jackson too, but I wasn't fucking blasting that shit. I wasn't playing it. Xavier loved it, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We had to get him a blazer, the fucking glove, and all that. Like to that level, like how in our era, the kids, how crazy they were about him. That my son was, bro. He would play Michael Jackson all day, and I'm like, where did he get that from? So, like you said, it is from us and being around just the sound.
There's a lot of new artists of today, like that I could still vibe with. I mean, as far as hip hop or quote unquote, you know,
can't even say Drake
rap,
because Drake is the old school rapper now.
That's what I'm saying. Bro. Yeah, you're right, Drake. But he's got that new sonic sound, like today's sound. Yeah. Today's sound, where he stays relevant.
Because he what he does is his team. He has his entourage keeps, you know, a pulse on the streets, man. And I think that's all the great artists.
All right, let's say for example, like Griselda. Griselda, they're today's artists, but they sound a lot of they shit sound like old school shit.
Because they've been doing music since we were doing music too, bro. They've been trying to. They never stopped.
Okay, so name me, some new hip hop artists I might not be familiar with that have today's new sound, and I'll tell you if I could rock with them or not.
Okay. I really don't listen. Okay, Russ is a newer artist. He's dope.
Okay.
He's a producer, right? Corday, he's dope. He's a young cat and he sound like Nas. David Sebastian is dope.
See, a lot of these artists have old school influence.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Post Malone, bro. I like Post Malone song.
Yeah, Post Malone.
I like what's his name? Damn, I can't believe I forgot his name. He did a song with Drake, the white boy too.
I don't know.
He just did a song. He got that song Nail Tech as well.
Vanilla Ice.
Can't believe I forgot his name. Because he's nice too.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on the new blood, but there a lot of the artists that are still, you know, dope. A lot of them still have old school influence. I guess maybe it's the genre that I can't vibe with. The whole drill rap shit. I don't know. I can't connect with it. You feel me?
I could, right? I guess I look at it for me. I look more so for wordplay and flow. And I could find wordplay and flow.
They're all saying the same shit. They're all saying the same shit.
And Ice Spice, she ain't saying shit, but she got flow, or she got a style, right? Yeah. Like, or she's saying shit with a twang. You know what I mean? They're like a certain vibe and energy.
You know who grew on me? You know who grew on me? Cardi. I used to hate on Cardi when she came out because she only had 1 or 2 joints.
Me too.
But now
she's nice, bro. Like,
but now is she writing her own? Is she writing her own shit?
I don't even know.
Maybe she has some ghostwriters.
That works anymore, bro. I don't even know if that's valid anymore.
That's another thing. Like, you take pride in writing your own shit.
So crazy, right?
You know, it all depends.
You know what's funny? I've never had anyone like write rhymes, but I've been in ciphers where like we're listening to a beat and everyone rhymes to it, and then we all decide, oh, we should hit it a certain way. I think something as simple as that could get misconstrued as ghostwriting, right? Like, did you hear about Nas being in the studio with so you know, Nas was working on the King Disease 3, and Hit Boy had invited Quentin Miller, the guy. I'm surprised he hasn't dropped it yet. The way he's been dropping shit. King Disease 3. Oh, he did.
Oh, okay.
This is King Disease 3.
Okay. I'm bugging. I thought you meant like he probably was working on King Disease 4 or some shit.
Oh no, when he was working on that, Quentin Miller popped up in the studio, and now when Quentin Miller recently got interviewed a month ago, 2 months ago, they said that he said, oh yeah, that he offered like some tidbits, or so then immediately they ran with it and said, did he ghostwrite for Nas? And everyone's like, get the fuck out of here. You know, this is the same guy who quote unquote ghost wrote for Drake. I mean, there's a difference. He actually had reference songs to Drake. Songs, bro. So it's like a difference. There wasn't any reference to this Nas thing, but it could be as simple as that. A beat comes on. Yo, I'm hitting it. Oh, yo, that shit sounds dope. Because right now I record with Mundo, shout out to Mundo, or Luminary, shout out to Luminary, right? If I'm doing something, so I'm doing a lot more like singing, right, on this project. So I'm like was hitting certain notes, and Mundo will be like, nah, my G, hit it higher or hit it a little lower or
hold on a second.
Yeah.
What happened?
The baby's crying. I'm sick.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't feel good.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up, brother.
All good.
Apologize.
All good.
Little man's acting wild.
That believe me, I understand. Yo, I don't know what it is, bro, but like mad people.
I'll be right there.
Yeah. We'll catch up. We'll catch up tomorrow.
Sorry, guys. Daddy duty calls.
Yo, this is what you do, son. This is
I like this. We had a music episode. That's dope.
Yeah. All right, bro. I love you, man.
We'll talk soon, my brother.
Yeah.
Peace.
Bless.
Later.
Old school, new school, need to learn though.